right now. Right now it is 6:46 where I'm at, Eastern Standard Time. So, my name is Zave Catino, which you should already know. And I'm back for some more little advice on trucking. No, I'm not a, 30-year, 10-year, even a 5-year, none of those types of veterans when it comes to this. But the little that I've experienced and little I know, I like to share it with someone who doesn't know. So, little background on me. I've had my CDL. Well, next month will be 1 year that I've had my CDL. I was not fortunate to get a job right out of CDL school like that. So pretty much, I was hunting around trying to avoid going OTR because I'm married with children. I don't want to be with my family like that. And I know what some of you guys are thinking. Well, truck drive is not for you. That's not 100% true because it depends on where you fit in the puzzle. Because you've got local, you got regional, you got LTL, you got a lot of different ways of getting in trucking. So I chose not to do OTR, at least initially. So therefore, it kind of delayed my forward progress a little bit because I couldn't find a job. So I had to keep doing, little odd jobs here and there until I found, somewhere to work. I tried. I'm gonna name a couple of companies because I don't work for these companies anymore. So the first company I tried to go with was actually Werner. No, I'm wrong. Let me rewind back a little bit. The very first company I tried to go with was Swift. Swift had initially hired me and I didn't take it. So then I was trying to find other companies and I couldn't find anything. So then I tried to get Swift, go back to Swift. And Swift came up with some mess about, I don't know, some excuse they made. So then now that didn't want to hire me then. So I'm figuring mostly what happened with Swift was basically, being that I didn't, take the first offer, they probably said, no, we're not going to give you a chance now. You had your chance, quote unquote. So that's what happened with Swift. Afterward, I tried with Western Express. Western Express hired me. But I've always heard all these bad things about Western Express, about them being a second chance company, and if you didn't really mess up your CDL or anything like that, you shouldn't deal with them. So I didn't take them. Then here comes um, Werner. I would have went with Werner, but Werner basically, whoever the recruiter was a female. She was talking to me like I owe her child support or something. She disrespectful, just not the way you talk to people. I'm not telling her to be, I'm not asking for her to really be like, quote unquote nice to me and give me roses and candy, but there's a way you interact with people. It's a small little thing called customer service. And if you want somebody to be employed by you, you show them a little bit of respect. I wasn't dealing with them. Then I tried Stevens Transport. I'm currently living in Virginia. So I got on a plane and traveled all the way to Dallas. Or actually, it's in Mesquite, which is Dallas, basically. Hey, Shelby. Hey, Taylor. I get out there, place is a dump. I mean, can't be picky, right? Because you're just coming in, basically, right? I heard it gets better. I've heard that about every company. When they're letting you in the door, they're breaking off crumbs to you. They're not showing you who they really are. That's why, in some ways, I compare the trucking game, to me personally, to the M word. I'm not gonna say, you know what I'm talking about already. I compare the trucking game to that because once you get in the family, I guess they take care of you. But once you're at the bottom, you're the bottom of the totem pole, you ain't getting no love like that yet. They're not showing you love from the gate. It don't go like that. So they put in a little raggedy motel, roaches and everything else you can think of up in there. Yeah, my roommate was a guy from Louisiana. He told me he got there on he took the Greyhound. He took the Greyhound bus from Louisiana all the way out to Dallas. I took a plane. I was not doing Greyhound. Wasn't happening for me. That's too far of a ride. Hell no. I actually drove to Dallas before, from Virginia to Dallas, and that sucked in a car. So I can imagine on Greyhound, sitting next to somebody you don't even know, uncomfortable and everything else, 18-hour or more ride. Nah, not for me. So anyway, I get out there. They basically had me like go to school part 2. They're like retraining us on stuff we already supposed to know, quote unquote. So they got us, doing maneuvers in the parking lot or whatever, and their training ground. And then they said they're gonna let us go out for a road test, which I can understand the road test. Every company does this, so I wasn't sweating that part. But having me go to like the school again and all that, I'm like, what are we doing? I ain't here for that. And then plus I'm not getting paid. You're not getting paid actually until you complete the 2 or 3 day orientation and then also pass your drug test and all that, which I ain't worried about none of that because I've never used drugs before, so I don't worry about none of that. But they got ways. These bigger carriers, basically, let me just break that down. They're not looking really to keep you because they get so many people applying. They're looking to eliminate some of that, that number that they get. They get like 40 people, say, to their class. You get like 40 people. They don't really want to hire all 40 of you. They're hoping maybe to get a good, maybe 6 to 10 good drivers out of that. They definitely don't want all 40 of you. So they're looking for half you guys to shit the bed. And they're looking for that. And it's probably going to happen. For anything they find, like with me, myself, I got eliminated for sleep apnea. But I use my machine. I got sleep study. I got all the good reports and all that. I use my stuff. So the doctor basically played with me. He said that my sleep study wasn't up to date and all this other junk. And I'm like, Doc, I got the app right here. I can send all of my recent reports straight to your email. What do you want? You want to talk to my doctor? I'll give you my doctor's number. It's like he was giving me the runaround. So he sent me back home. And I said, all right, fine. If I got to go back to Virginia, I'm not paying for that, right? And they're like, oh, no, they take care of you. Yeah, they took care of me, all right. They tried to make me go back on Greyhound and not pay for my flight. We're not doing that. I told them there's no way I'm going to fly back. Fly or drive back to Virginia basically on my own dime. That wasn't happening. So they said we can give you up to $300 back. If you pay for your flight or whatever, we'll reimburse you up to $300. So of course I couldn't find any good flights for $300. I think I wound up paying like $435, whatever. I was like, I'll take a loss for $135. That's not bad. Took the loss for that. Gets back to Virginia. Now I'm like, damn, here we go, square one again. No job. I go back, doing odd jobs and security and stuff like that. Couple of months down the line, I land what I thought was going to be my end all or be all. I land a shuttle driver job. Perfect. Perfect situation. $29 an hour. That might not sound like a lot to everybody. Some people I know are going to be like, wow, that's nothing. Everybody's going to say that. There's always going to be somebody that tells you whatever you make is less than what they make or it's not enough. There's always going to be that guy. But you got to understand something. If it works for you, is what's important. It's not about what somebody else. Because we seen that, just a segue left for a minute. We seen this just recently in baseball. Juan Soto left the Yankees to go to the Mets for what, 760 million or whatever it is. And on the outside looking in, I'm like, I would have took $1 million. You know, I mean, yeah, he's talented and everything like that. But I also look at it like, look at the Yankees history versus the Mets history. Yeah, the Mets may have a good team right now, but doesn't mean they're going to win the World Series. Doesn't mean they're going to go to playoffs and all that. We don't know that. That's all down the line. We don't know anything about that. Hell, Juan Soto could blow his kneecap, God forbid. And then now, the Mets is stuck with a dud. So what I'm getting at is the same thing. Like, you can make all this money, quote unquote, but anything can happen. What works for you is for you individually. You know, $29 an hour, that works for me. I ain't had no problem with that. When I got my first check, I was fine. But what happened in my situation was the contract got canceled. So I thought I was working directly for Goya, which I wasn't. I was working for Transforce, which some of you truckers out there, you probably heard of that company. They're like a recruiting company. And I don't know if they get money out of the whole situation, but I guess they get something out of it because it's a contract through them. And for whatever reason, they didn't have a contract no more. I mean, it was a sweet situation. It's just drop and hook. I only had to travel over like maybe 2 states. So like North Carolina or South Carolina, drop and hook, drop a loaded trailer, pick up Auntie, come back to Virginia. Done deal. 5 days a week. I mean, I couldn't beat that. But when they told me the contract was over, man, I was gone, man. I was like, I can't believe this. Now I'm out of a job again. You know, so I left that alone. Then I tried doing the buses. And I found out I don't like people very much. So I didn't really want to drive the buses. Like, I just took it because it was a job and because it was a CDL job. But I really didn't want to be a bus driver. I didn't really want to do that. You know, and it's city bus at that. And then right now, currently in Virginia, the buses are free. So, and there's talks of it never being a price or a charge for it ever again. So that means you're going to have all walks of life on that bus to deal with. And these guys, you know, everybody ain't straight in the head nowadays. You know, I'd rather be in a truck alone than to be on a bus full of people that could be possibly mentally ill. And I can't do anything to protect myself because they don't want you to have a firearm and nothing like that. They're not going to indemnify none of that stuff. So they don't want you to have any types of weapons, not even pepper spray. That's the buses I'm talking about. So left that, and then I went with Schneider. Schneider is super duper serious. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you ain't got all your stuff together, don't even fill your application out. Don't even waste your time. You can't have, where's my little prop? You can forget about this. Take this and throw it in the garbage. They don't want no headsets. They don't want you touching their phone. They don't want you attempting to talk on their phone. None of that. They literally want you to go to a rest stop and be, you know, pulled over with truck shut off, and then you can talk on the phone or whatever like that. And then also, they don't want, you can't just go to just any truck stop either. Like, they don't want you to just go on a regular, I mean, you can go to a truck stop, I guess, if you have to, but they want you to go to the designated ones they want you to go to, like the Flying J's, Pilot, stuff like that. That's where they want you to get fuel from as well. They don't want you to just go anywhere that you feel. Whatever stuff they got. You know, they're loaded with cameras. They say there's no in-cab facing cameras. You believe that. I don't. So, they're just very, very strict. Extremely strict. And they're so strict that, you know, like, it makes you feel like, do I really want to work for somebody like that? Because you know the money ain't great. They're not really paying you nothing. They're not paying you nothing over there. And I'm not even talking about just training pay, because you already know that none of these companies are going to give you training pay. Like, they're not going to pay you a lot during training. I think people need to understand that you know, when they go for these jobs, you think they're going to get all this money. It's not like that. you're not going to make a whole lot of money up front. You're going to get maybe what? I'll tell you exactly what I got. I got $400. I got $400. And that was after taxes. And I think it may even be less than that. I think the only reason why I got 400 is because when I got to North Carolina, I had to pay for my own Uber. You had to pay for my own Uber. Because they get you to, they pay you Greyhound or whatever to get down to Charlotte. Even if it's, if you're far enough away, they'll pay for a plane. But I'm only in Virginia, so their options was a rental or a Greyhound. I know you probably like, why I ain't take the rental? I wanted a rental. But they said so many people have done wrong with the rental, they wouldn't give me one. And I'm like, what could you possibly do wrong with the rental? Like, how dumb are people? Like, if you try to take the rental, say you try to take it, enjoy rides, steal it, whatever you want to do with it. They got your name, they got your social security number. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. And if they want to, they're gonna press charges on you like, I don't know what. You don't want that type of drama and smoke in your life. I hope not. But that's why they said they don't give, new rookie applicants or whatever drivers, you're not getting the they won't give you a rental. So it's gonna be Greyhound or a flight. So I got the Greyhound. I got to the bus station in Charlotte. I had to call the Uber to go to the hotel. You get to the hotel, you got to share a room, and I'm a grown man. The only room I want to share, if I share a room with somebody, it's gonna be my wife or my kids and stuff. I'm not really sharing it with nobody. Like, what's going on? Like, nah. But hell, it's only 3 weeks, right? Really 2 weeks. So you're doing 2 weeks classroom and maneuvers and all that junk and driving on the road a little bit. So you're doing this every morning. Class is like 7 o'clock in the morning or something like that. Yeah, like 7. They come get you by 6. So you're living in a room with another guy or another female. Occasionally the females may be alone. I wound up being alone for 1 week because I got sent back at Schneider. And the reason why I sent back for that one, that's why I said make sure all your stuff is straight. Remember earlier I said, if you were listening, if you're on here, I said that I had drove a bus before. So I had a license that had all endorsements, hazmat, everything. I got triples, doubles, all that junk. And I also had passenger. So I just recently got passenger. That's my latest endorsement. I got that in January. So I had that license, and I had a license before that. The license I had before that, I had brung down initially the first time to Charlotte with me. I didn't bring the other license. They sent me back to Virginia to get that license. They wanted to see the physical hard copy. They was on it like that. And they paid. They paid for it. So when they sent me back, they paid for the Uber and everything. They got me up out of there. They said, you got to go. So I left. I wasn't going to come back. I'm not going to hold you at all. I was not going to come back. Once they sent me back home, I was like, here we go again. I ain't going back down there. But I know that I want to get my experience and I want to get in the game. So I went back down there. And then things was going smooth. I was in my last week. Did my 2 weeks class and maneuvers and some road driving. The third week, the end of the third week, when I'm supposed to go with the trainer over the road for 5 days. Or 7 days, 6 days, whatever it is. It's like a week, basically. After you're done with him, you get your truck. So why they cut me off the day before I'm supposed to go with the trainer? They're telling me they don't like the way I back up. They're saying that I'm not doing the proper offsets and the proper straight back or whatever. They were saying I wasn't doing it the Schneider way. I wasn't doing it the Schneider way. So I'm like, well, I'm thinking nobody's doing it the Schneider way. Ain't we all there for a job? We're just getting in the game. That's what you're there for, to teach us the Schneider way. But they like, They like, no, I gotta go, right? So basically, they sent me home, and I'm like, here we go again. So this time around, I'm like, well, I done been here now almost 3 weeks. I know I gotta get paid. That's when I got my little $400 welfare check, basically. That's when I got that. And I went and got with the company I'm with now, and I'm not gonna mention the name because I'm with them. So I'm gonna keep that one silent. Now, I'm not keeping it silent like the rest of these guys out here because they just want to be, douchebags and not tell you who they work for because of whatever, acting like as if you're gonna take their particular job. Personally, I'm saying it because I don't know how my current company, deals with social media presence and things like that. I don't know if they really want us talking about them. So I'm not gonna mention who they are for that purpose. But I will tell you they're not a mega carrier. And I'll tell you that don't, if you're getting into trucking, just get in the game early. Don't sleep on the mom and pop companies. Show them some love, because what they don't do is they don't broadcast that they're hiring so much. They may not even broadcast that they hire recent or new CDL graduates. A lot of companies don't want to do that because they know that if they put the whole poster out there like that, they're gonna have a tremendous influx of people coming in there, and a lot of them just can't handle that volume of people because they don't have the trainers. They don't have the trainers, and they just don't have the time, so they can't do it. And I don't know what the insurance situation may be, because the insurance to have new drivers and stuff, it's a big, it's a big deal. Your places like Schneider and Swift and all those guys, they got in-house, pretty much they insure themselves. So you can go out here and tip the city with one of them trucks and it won't be a big deal to them. I mean, they're probably gonna fire you, but they're gonna pay out to whoever the damages are. They're gonna take care of that immediately and early. So, but I've heard rumors that even if you go out here and mash up some stuff severely, it don't always mean you're gonna get fired. It doesn't always end that way. There are instances if you just maybe tap something or whatever, they'll just as long as you don't try to hide it, you be straightforward and serious with them, they acknowledge it, but they won't fire you. But I look at it like, I'm not trying to hit nothing out here. If I can help it, I want to try to have my license clean and clear as possible. Now, am I gonna stay where I'm at right now? I don't know, but I'm gonna try to at least be here a year if I can. Try to at least put a year in somewhere around that, or some amount of time that will make me more valuable to get into maybe another company, because I have all these endorsements, and I didn't go get them for nothing. Do I want to use every last one of them? No, probably not. But I do want to do hazmat, because I've always heard that's where the real money's at, and where I plan on moving to next. Probably that might be a good idea to get into hazmat. I feel hazmat, reefer, these are things that's always going to be around. I mean, dry vans will always be around too, but think about it. You're always going to need food. I don't care what happens out here. Pandemics, whatever. Food needs to be delivered. Fuel needs to be delivered. Because even if it's not gas, it could be other hazmat items that are necessary. So there's always going to be a need. So I look at it like that. But as for myself, I want to do LTL or regional at some point, or local even. I definitely want to continue on with OTR. That's how I know I'm not going to be doing that too long. So, but I know a lot of places, they look for you to at least been OTR for 6 months, 3 months, or better. There's some jobs that are local that want you to have OTR experience. I don't know why that is, because I'm gonna tell you OTR and local driving is totally different. You know, maneuvering that big 53 foot truck through the city is definitely a wild ride compared to just driving along the interstate with it. You know, like let me give Schneider one salute. The training is excellent. They have excellent training. Par echelon on the training. That the pay, when I had money like that, that money I made in 2 weeks, that's the kind of money that I could throw in the street. $400 is like nothing to me. You know, especially like you feel like you literally slaving for that $400. You look at the check, you're like, this is what I got after 2 weeks of work. 2 weeks of work, this is what you give me? It's like, man, man, you guys just don't love me. That's how I felt. I felt horrible. But I know that it's necessary because to get to where I'm going and to be able to get what I want out of trucking, I got to go through the barbed wire to get over the fence, basically. So I suggest you just coming out of CDL school, do not wait. Some of these good companies will come through your school and may offer you employment while you're in school. You may feel like, well, hell, I don't even know if I'm gonna even pass this course. Don't look down on yourself, because I'm telling you this because it's kind of what I did. A lot of companies came through my school. I ignored them. I didn't even apply to half of them. And I think that's what kind of put me in the rut later on, trying to now reach out to companies to get employed. So, you know, when they come through your school, I'm not saying jump on the first ship sailing, but investigate them, see if what they have suits your lifestyle and what they're offering for, you know, financially or pay wise also suits what you're looking for. You know, don't just say I'm gonna just take the job because it's a CDL job, because there's plenty of CDL jobs out there. You got dump trucks, you got a lot of stuff going on out here. You know, so investigate, research. Don't jump on the first thing you see. What else? Don't sleep on the small companies. When you look for a job and just because it says 1 year preferred, good work and required. Because if something's required, then yeah, they really mean that 1 year. But if they say preferred, there's a chance you might be able to get in through the back door. You just never know. You never know. Give that a shot and see if that's what, you know, maybe might work for you. You never know. Some of these companies will give somebody a chance and say, let's make this guy a legend. And then after we make him a legend, have him make other people legends. So you just never know. I would say try. All they can do is say no, right? They can say no, or some of them will say, you know what, we're going to hold your information. When you get your experience, call us back. And we got a job for you. Probably got a job for you if you call back. You know, good to network and speak to a lot of these companies, and hopefully something catches. So that's my words of advice. Share this video, like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I help somebody out there to not go through what I've went through. I basically had to go around the block to go down the street. You don't want to do all of that. You want to go down the street.